What's a real fact that some people don't want to accept? Not everyone is going to like you. You can't please everyone. You don't need to please everyone. When it comes to arguing, stating facts rarely change people's minds. Nothing really changes anyone's mind. I can't even imagine what it would take to change somebody's mind when it comes to politics or religion. Especially not a few facts said in an argument. It takes people years to change from liberal to conservative, or the other way around. Being right about one thing doesn't make you right about everything. Also the inverse. But you were wrong about this one thing, so now you can't be trusted for anything. Life isn't fair, and sometimes bullcrap happens for no reason when you did nothing wrong. It is possible to commit no mistakes and still lose. That is not a weakness. That is life. Everybody thinks they are the hero of their story, even the villains. I always considered myself as a side character. I'm more the NPC running into a wall repeatedly, not knowing what is going on. Just because you're shouting doesn't mean you're correct. Most people think they're slightly more intelligent than the average person. They're not, myself included. This realization hit me hard as a young college kid. I was one of those big fish, small pond kids when it came to academics. Got to college and learned that real fucking fast. Things don't get better if you don't try to make them better. A. You are responsible for things that go wrong. B. Some things that go wrong are completely nothing to do with you and you cannot change that fact. The two most unpleasant facts of life. The point is, when a thing goes wrong that affects you directly, there are two possible ways it happened and one possible outcome regards resolution. What happened? 1. You fucked up. WH2, something else fucked up. Outcome: you have to deal with it. Either you have to be responsible to fix the situation, or you have to take the responsibility to yourself that it's not within your power to fix the situation. Points A and B are purposely contradictory, the point being that if something affects you negatively, you are responsible for that negativity being resolved. You can't stop things happening, and you can rarely fix them. But this has nothing to do with whether or not that at the end of the day, it is only you who can deal with it. It is not a pleasant fact. It's not an easy mantra to live by, and by no means do I infer that failure to remember these points, live this way, etc., should be considered weakness or failure as a person. Is the person who moves past a major negative incident better than the person who struggles to do so? No. Just different. But the fact remains that this is the way it is. No one owns life, but anyone who can pick up a frying pan owns death. Williams Burroughs. Yep. I always think about this regarding people's nervousness in select situations. If they didn't care about getting caught, pretty much any random person on the street could murder you with very little difficulty. Having an unpopular opinion doesn't necessarily mean it's a better one. Hard work does not equal high performance. You're supposed to use your turn signal anytime you make a turn or change lanes. Not only that, the turn signal is to tell people your intent to change lanes, so you should use it before you turn. Participating in and deriving joy from other cultures and their activities is not the same thing as cultural appropriation. Mental and emotional abuse are a very real thing that nobody teaches you about. Nobody really wants to talk about it either. Obesity is not healthy and is generally from eating too much. Thought I should edit this because people keep commenting it. Yes, obesity itself is from eating too much. I said generally because I understand that some people have mental conditions that make it difficult to stay within their recommended daily calorie intake. I lost 70 plus lbs pretty much just by watching my calories and moving a little more. It was a simple process, albeit not always an easy one, but when people ask me what my secret is, you'd think I'm telling them advanced alien voodoo rocket science or something. It's obvious they're expecting me to give them some sort of magic trick that will do all the work for them, like a pill or something. And then come the lame, unprovoked excuses like, "Oh, that would never work for me. Fatness just runs in my family." That's a direct quote from a coworker. Or, "I could totally do that too. I'm just too busy to plan out all my meals." Or they claim, "The science is always changing about what is considered healthy and unhealthy," and the list goes on and on. I like to play a fun game where I tick off a mental checklist all the excuses I said to myself too when I hear them being said right back to me. People don't dislike you because you're honest, they dislike you because you're an a-hole. LMAO, I felt this one. I'd always believed that being straightforward and refusing to pretend to like someone was the only right way to do things, and that when people would hate me for it, it was because I was honest about them. Turns out that's not how it always works, and you can't always justify being an a-hole to people claiming you're just being frank with them. I'm still pretty rude sometimes, but I'm working on it. Comes with experience, I suppose. Nuclear is the safest source of energy and a viable solution to reduce our CO2 emissions. I am fine with nuclear power, but is it actually safer than solar? I haven't seen that claim before. The manufacturing of solar panels and large batteries is actually pretty dirty. Wind, tidal, thermal, and nuclear energies are super clean. We just need to make that damn repository so the waste can be safe for reuse one day. Being a rep for an MLM does not mean having your own business. Also, it's impossible to make even minimum wage as an MLM rep without exploiting at least someone. Just give it a try. Would a mutual friend, who hasn't spoken to you since the 9th grade but messaged you on Facebook out of the blue, lie to you? We are all living in the most wonderful time in the history of the world. This is a hard fact for a lot of people to accept. They would much rather think the end times are coming than appreciate how much we as a species have and have overcome. We can certainly do more to improve ourselves as a whole, and it is our duty to do better. But right now is one of the best times in human history to be alive. Click farms and bot influencing are real. The number next to the view count like favorites shares is a line of code, not empirical fact. Trends are purchased. Being a jerk doesn't mean that you're being just honest, or keeping it real, or helping anyone. 99-100, you're just being a jerk and the only person benefiting is you. People who are brutally honest are more interested in being brutal than honest. No one really thinks about you, so stop worrying about what other people think about you because they're most likely thinking about their own problems. 20% of Reddit posts. Nobody cares about some stupid thing you did. Everyone is too wrapped up in their own problems. 40% of Reddit posts. OMG, there was a guy in my first class at university who used to wear the same clothes to every class, and he always had the top button on his shirt buttoned like he was the fucking president of the world or something. Everybody used to call him the button baron. LOL, I cannot even. Other 40% of Reddit posts. No one thinks about me ever. LOL. The world isn't as simple as all the political and economic prodigy of Reddit believe. I'd go as far as to say that if your understanding of the opposing party makes them sound like comic book villains, you probably don't know as much about politics as you think you do. The average person is significantly less conscious and autonomous than we like to pretend. We are a unique species in that we have the mental potential to break free from our base animal instincts. That doesn't mean everybody, or even a majority, of people actually reach that potential. Everybody thinks they're immune to propaganda. We're not. Well said, comrade. There's an even deeper side to that. The vast majority of us aren't individuals. We're just background characters. I'm not just talking about the concept of Sonder, which is the realization that every passerby has their own life. I'm discussing the simple, brutal fact that the vast majority of us have nothing to offer to the world beyond serving as an audience of consumers. How many of us actually create things of substance? How many of us make a visible impact on the people around us? We spend our time watching television, browsing through social media, and pretending to have opinions that actually matter. Even our jobs are largely pointless, serving little other purpose beyond moving some money around for people higher up than we are. The truth is, though, none of that is at all bad, but we've been conditioned to think it is. Everyone is allegedly supposed to strive for individuality, but at the same time, we're all expected to fit in. If you feel like you should be more than an automaton, if you genuinely believe that you have something unique to offer, then the best thing that you can do is make active, ongoing efforts to either entertain or inform. Use that inner light to brighten other people's lives. If that seems too difficult or daunting, though, don't worry. The world's stars still need somewhere to shine. Summary: we're all background characters, but some of us can become more if we work at it. Y'all gon' die with hella regrets. Being in the army doesn't make you a hero. Trolls don't hate you. They just try to stir you up to get a reaction. If anything, they're just bored people who sit behind a screen. Budgeting is not difficult. It is basic math. Credit cards are not magic free money. They will eat you alive. You shouldn't have a child if you can't afford or look after one. And that doesn't just mean money. You need to spend time raising a child because otherwise, even though my uncle may disagree, you'll end up with kids that don't have any relationship at all with you. Feelings and being offended are not legitimate counterarguments to a factual challenge. That not everybody is nice, or even capable of becoming decent people. Some people are just bad, and functioning psychopaths are all around us. Also, not all psychopaths are serial killers and not all serial killers are psychopaths. The strong do as they please, and the weak suffer what they must. Politicians are heavily influenced by whoever gives them the most money. Most people act in their own best interests, and that's okay. We have all a bad side, a side we don't want others to see, so we hide it away and put on a facade to cope with life. What's a real fact that some people don't want to accept? Leave a comment and subscribe to the channel if you want to see more videos like this one.